And it is our distinct pleasure, it is our honor and privilege today to discuss what will surely be remembered as the Daily Wire's masterpiece. And to do that, we are once again joined by Pod About List, Caleb, Cameron, and Patrick, to discuss the Pendragon cycle, Rise of the Merlin.
The Pendragon cycle. What a name. What a title. What a title for a TV show.
Rise of the Merlin. I mean, I guess I learned that this was based on a fantasy book series that had already existed.
Game of Thrones.
And what they I guess didn't realize is you're supposed to change the name. Like they didn't call a Game of Thrones show A Song of Ice and Fire. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to call it something cool. You're not supposed to stick with the Pendragon cycle.
The Pendragon cycle is
Sounds like a medical procedure.
Yeah. It's so like I got kicked in the head by a donkey. Here's my book.
It does sound like the type of book that Ben Shapiro would pick up at like a gas station checkout and be like, "Yep, I'm gonna turn this into a movie."
I love bad titles. I recently wrote like part of a fake book for something we're doing this weekend, and like things like the Obsidian Canticle, Spy and the Woman, that type of thing. But like nothing you make up is ever as funny as like the actual things people pick. And this one is it's one of the worst titles I've ever heard. I didn't even know that. I just thought they were going off like the ancient IP of King Arthur and Lancelot. The guy who wrote the actual Pendragon cycle book is really like an asshole, because this is the oldest IP besides Beowulf, and he's like, I can do it better.
Look, we all know the classic characters: Merlin, King Arthur, Sir Lancelot, Sir Gawain, the Green Knight, Percival, the great characters of Arthurian legend. The Pendragon cycle asks the question, but who were Merlin's parents?
Yeah.
They did the fucking Patton Oswalt joke, dude. They did that fucking Patton Oswalt joke about the prequels.
I could not believe, that I got 2 episodes into the show, and the end of the second episode is the birth of Merlin, and the end of the second episode ends with text coming on screen that says 75 years later.
Now, one of the best time jumps I've ever seen. I had trouble I'll just say absorbing this.
I had trouble following anything.
I tried to watch this, but this is kind of shot like, I would say this is the first definitive post-AI show, because I know it was shot with real people. There's no mistaking Brett Cooper, one of the greatest actresses of our time. Computers cannot simulate that. But it has, every scene I watch is like when one of those guys is like, Hollywood's going to be out of business.
Yeah.
I put MGK in Game of Thrones.
There's like 150 shot montage at the beginning that feels like something that they anytime that like Matthew McConaughey cries on a podcast, they like take that little snippet and put it over like stock footage of guys walking by themselves on a mountain.
Yeah, it had a very stock footage feeling, and it's like, I know that they are doing something ambitious by like, telling us about Merlin's cousins, his family friends, the super in their building. I mean, this is like, you can really tell that these guys spent most of their lives wanting to be Hollywood executives, because this is the type of stupid thing a real Hollywood executive would do. If we make a prequel where we introduce the guy who is the matchmaker for Merlin's parents, that's like 3 more prequels we can turn out. But everything I actually watched and actually tried to take in to level a critique at, it just like, if you were put into a coma during January 6th, you tried to poop on Nancy Pelosi's desk, and they just lodged a bullet in your fucking spine. This is like the good dream you're having. It's like I know there is a plot and there technically are characters, but it just feels like I'm watching like a a self-soothing thing for the people who hate George R.R. Martin because there aren't enough good guys in his stuff. Like people,
Yeah.
A Song of Ice and Fire is like too complex for them, which is incredible.
It's like the people who made this show, it's like they didn't get the memo that you're supposed to do the boring flashback episode that has no relevance at like episode 7 when there's a huge cliffhanger right before it. Now, you're not supposed to do it in the first
You don't
2
start
episodes of
Breaking
the show.
Bad when he's like founding the company with the guys and do 2
Yeah.
seasons of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
come back.
It reminds me of our joke about like the potential Sopranos prequel movies where it's like, oh, I want to see the movie about what Artie Bucco's dad's restaurant was like.
Yeah.
In terms of like the people who created this TV show, there really is one name and one man who like for whom this has been his passion project. And that man is Jeremy Boring. He is sort of the CEO of the Daily Wire. And like my honest review of having seen now 4 hours of this TV show, what is the experience like? I would say that this show represents possibly the strongest possible argument to be made for the truth of nominative determinism. Because this is, listener, please believe me when I tell you, this show is so boring that I felt like I was traveling backwards in time watching this. It's like for the rest of people on this recording, it's now 7:10 p.m. It's actually yesterday afternoon for me right now because of what this show did to my brain. And it is like, okay, I in terms of like, especially the first 2 episodes, the thing that I found extraordinary about this show is that usually in the fantasy and sci-fi genre, bad writing or just a bad TV show or bad anything is like the clear signpost of that is endless exposition in the dialogue. Like everything is just constantly being explained. This show has taken a radically different path by providing no exposition or context for anything that happens. The most common question I had watching this show is, who is that? What am I looking at? And why is this happening?
Yeah.
Like there are whole things that just happen off screen. And I'm just like, wait, what did I miss something here?
You'll
Like,
watch a whole scene of something crazy happening that you don't understand. You don't know who anyone is. You don't know why it's happening, and the scene will end with the text 20 years later.
I feel like if this show gets translated into other languages, its foreign title, its international title will be The Pendragon Cycle. Does this guy know the other guy? That is the question that the viewer should always be asking himself. I wondered that if that's like a PUA technique, like an obscure PUA technique. When you're approaching women, refer to people and events they would not know. Make them up if you have to, and they'll want to know more. This, if you can extrapolate this to writing,
the Pendragon Cycle, the title itself is like we did like an episode on PUAs, and we found out there was like something called the Octoberman sequence.
Don't bring this up, bro. It's too dangerous. You can't bring that up.
It
You can't bring that shit up, bro. This is too big of an audience.
Sounds
You're gonna get people
exactly like
killed.
that.
It also does this show does kind of simulate the experience of going on a date with one of these guys, where you're sort of coming in and out of consciousness the entire time at different places with huge time gaps. Like, oh, fuck. Oh, it's 20 years later. Oh, it's 75 years later.
One crazy thing about this show too is I will admit there was a point where I was watching this show. I was watching it sped up. I was speeding
Me
up the
too.
episodes.
Me too. And when she gets hit by the bull, oh my fucking god, that's the
What's
funniest thing I've
crazy?
ever seen.
But the craziest part of it is when I was watching it at about 1.8 times speed, how much of the show seemed to be running in regular motion.
Yeah.
And how much slow motion they used to fill the 1 hour runtime.
Cameron, the pacing in this show is deadly. The first 10 minutes of the fucking show is like them fishing a baby out of a salmon net and being like, the virtue of our weir is destroyed. Hey, is that a baby? And then
Dude, that set design was so insane. It was impossible to know what was happening.
Yeah.
It was
This
so
was
it's also sick that they're like, First of all, the jump. My favorite jump in the first episode is when it's England, right? And then they show the England shit, and it's the guy getting the salmon out of the river. Oh, here's the baby. And then the next one is Atlantis. Establishing shot. I was like, I'm buckling in for this shit.
Yeah. You know, if I could describe the feeling of watching this show, it would be my faint memories of when you have a cold, but it's before you know how to read. Being like 3 or 4 years old and just had like a primordial boredom. The feeling that the first caveman had before he figured out he could draw on the walls. Okay, I will admit I didn't watch it sped up, but after the first 2 episodes, I was just like, I cannot observe this directly. I cannot bring myself to do this. So I had it on in the background, and I was tabbing between this and like a video where they tell you how to find all the telephone cards in Yakuza 0 because I was trying to aim on fight. And while I had it on in the background, I realized that every 5 minutes they have what seems like a title sequence.
Yeah.
Half the show by volume is just sequences of guys like riding from England to England. And then at 25 years later, 75 years later, 75 years ago, it's like that. So it's like someone told them, the opening title sequence in Game of Thrones is incredibly iconic. Oh, we'll just have 20 of those every.
They're done with the production value of like a Modern Warfare 2 no scope montage intro from back in the day, where the guy's name is like Rise or something, and it's made out of flames. It rotates in 3 dimensions.
Yeah, the actual title sequence is the mannequin challenge.
Yeah, it's true. It's so crazy though. There's this many time jumps. But everyone is the same age. Nobody ages at all.
Dude, when they reveal his dad, and it's like, he's like, they have to go out of their way to be like, hello, father. And he looks the exact same with a fake mustache on, some shit fake mustache.
Yeah, it was so awesome, I could not tell a single fucking, like, I didn't know that Talesin was supposed to be the baby until, like, midway through, I think maybe episode 3, like when he dies. Like I didn't realize until then. I was like,
yeah, they really don't
that's the guy.
do a good job.
Yeah.
But before we get into the plot, I suppose you could say the pseudo events that take place over 4 hours.
Events is generous.
Or the characters, I suppose. I guess it could roughly be described that this show depicts a kind of intra-white race war that takes place in 4th century Britain, where the Irish and the Saxons are the bad guys, and the Britons and the people of Atlantis, who are they're the whitest people on earth. They're all blonde hair and blue eyes, and they live to be about 500 years old. But this is a pseudo-mythic history of Britain. But as I said, the show itself is deadly boring. Mm-hmm. However, the story of the creation of the show, and that it very well has led to the may have led to the implosion of the Daily Wire and certainly the career of Jeremy Boring, plays like a Safdie Brothers movie. And like Jeremy Boring is like a Safdie Brothers character, but without the charm. It needs to be stressed that the production budget for these 8 episodes was, according to Jeremy Boring in an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, in the 8 figures. And that each episode had a 7-figure budget. And the thing is, I can't even fault them because you watch the show and it looks expensive as fuck. Like there's tons of horses and extras and costumes and these huge vistas and locations or whatever. But holy shit. Spencer and I were talking about this because I asked him to help me come together some of the backstory on the implosion of the Daily Wire and the creation of this TV show. Basically, Jeremy Boring took whatever money or whatever they got for this movie and did the scene in The Dark Knight where the Joker sets that pyramid of money on fire, where he takes all of the Gotham mob's money and then just burns it. That's what watching this TV show feels like. It's like watching that scene.
Before we get into Becky, which is the reason its cancellation is the reason for approximately 20 million family annihilations. And it's really sad because those families just didn't know that Pendragon cycle would be around. This is, to make another comparison, the story of this movie and the subsequent collapse of Daily Wire films is like a version of the documentary Overnight where everyone is Harvey Weinstein.
I have to say it was really stressful researching this because like all the headlines were like, these political podcasters tried to make movies and set everything on fire and then they fired everyone. And I was like, well, I'm going to fucking send my resume to True Crime Obsessed.
Spencer was looking into Morgan Le Fay's Seeing Orb, reading those.
Yeah, I was like just staring at my LinkedIn page for like 3 hours after I finished putting together the research.
EFIS did cost $800 million to produce.
Spencer was consulting a corkboard trying to figure out who the Brett Cooper on Chapo is, which he was forced to go with.
It would be a woman who looks exactly like me but isn't related to me somehow.
Yeah, so Benke, they kept letting Jeremy Boring do this is the craziest thing. Like they established the company in like 2018 and it immediately becomes cash flow positive. Like they just, they have them seed money from fracking executives, but they don't even need it after a year. Like Matt Walsh's stuff is hugely popular. They also have this like fourth guy that looks like skinny Judge Holden. No one knows who he is.
Andrew
Clavin.
Yeah,
Andrew
yeah.
Clavin. Come on, Spencer.
Man,
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
anyways,
of Don't Say a Word.
So, oh fuck, I love Don't Say a Word. I love that movie. No, they like Jeremy Boring. He said from the beginning that he wanted to do Hollywood stuff, and the first thing he did was try and put together a streaming service for children. But so there are two strategies for that. The first one was to make knockoffs of actually popular children's shows, and one of them was a Bluey ripoff. What the fuck was it called? It was called like
Chinchilla. It was about
Chipchilla.
Chipchilla.
Yeah.
And they were blue.
Yeah, the other thing they did was try and license out like existing kid shows and then delete any of the woke episodes. They actually they did that. They like acquired some Finnish show and then they deleted 2 episodes. And I think someone went in and like, okay, what were these episodes about? No, it didn't have anything to do with anything. There was no wokeness in those episodes.
Did they do the like the thing where they put on shit from the public domain just to like pad out the?
Yeah. I don't think so, but they didn't put on anything.
Yeah. Yeah, we have the Epic of Gilgamesh.
All of that 12-hour block of Pop Goes the Weasel.
Yeah, we put Charlie Chaplin movies on it for your kids. No, the only thing they acquired that had like any brand name recognition was the original G.I. Joe. Everything else was just like they put together a ripoff of Blue's Clues, and it's like, all right, this is going to sell a lot of subscriptions to this $25 a month service.
Oh.
That didn't work. They tried to make a Snow White, like a conservative version of Snow White with Brett Cooper, but then she got fired from the company, so they canned that. And I guess they were like, all right, Jeremy, you set all of our money on fire twice. You made our company go in the fucking black twice. But yeah, you can make Game of Thrones with all of the fucking seed. Run it back one more time.
Game of Thrones with, I think, a budget larger than Game of Thrones in the first season of Game of Thrones. And like, Spencer, I think an important point is that like the Daily Wire, in terms of their like cheap to make and very successful like Matt Walsh anti-woke documentaries, if they had stuck to that, they would have had like a viable money-making like entertainment company. But like it's Jeremy Boring's kind of like his brilliant, I don't know, hubris in that he thinks that like because of that there's a huge audience out there that like, or the audience that they already have of people desperate for right-wing news commentary and analysis and sort of like anti-woke polemic and stuff like that. What they really also want is the exact thing that they're already getting from HBO or Disney, but made by the Daily Wire. And like, and that is really where like this monumental disaster comes from.
It is like, so funny to see every episode of this, to see it start with the like Daily Wire plus streaming service bumper with like Matt Walsh like zooming in out of the plus.
Dude,
like you can't forget, you know what I mean? Like they don't know how to chart the, like even in a world where this show was somehow good enough that like and enjoyable enough. No, like it's still just in your face the whole time. It's like, yeah.
I think that's so interesting because we came to a revelation with merchandise once where we realized like, okay, if you plaster a fucking podcast logo all over your stuff, it significantly reduces your available pool of people who will wear this in public to the freaks and the wastoids.
Mhm.
If we take it off and it's just something they like, it will do a lot better. That
Yeah.
is with like a very low risk thing like hats. These guys spent like $700 million and we're like, no, we're not
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
any.
It's so
we're not- no,
crazy.
None of
Dude,
these. Yeah,
you can
because
tell
none
they
of-
think that they're going to somebody's going to watch this and then find out that the Daily Wire made it and be like, "What?"
That's what I mean. It's
That
not even
Avengers
like
intro. That
the
Avengers
show
logo
is,
intro.
is not even like, it doesn't even feel like I could see this as a completely normal, terrible, like Peacock original or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
There's nothing
Yeah.
about it at all that screams this was made by, Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring. So the fact that they that they like, yeah, still like I just don't understand what the target audience for this is at all. I was thinking that the whole time, like, do people who like the Daily Wire, did they think that bards are cool? Like, do they like bards?
well,
Is that,
it is.
Dude, bards are huge.
I just don't know. It's so alien to me.
Cameron, it's another thing where it's. We talked about this when Elon Musk first bought Twitter, that there was going to be a playback of the thing that happened during the latter Trump 1 years, where presidential campaigns, media companies, etc., just by virtue of who their middle management was, younger millennials who spend a lot of time on Twitter, they began to believe that the stuff they saw on their feed represented like the majority of people. And it's how you got things like Elizabeth Warren during a primary debate saying that her signature policy was to ban Trump from Twitter. And it was so weird and marginal that even Kamala was like, what? Or no, I forget. No, I fucked that up. It was Kamala's policy.
Yes.
And then Warren was like, what the fuck? But ever since they bought Twitter, the exact same thing has been happening with them. So they see all these posts where it's like, I'm a 21-year-old man who's handsome and good looking, and I can't even find a girlfriend because no girls want to. There's like no stuff about medieval bullshit and early Christendom to watch with them. Those are the only kind of stories I want to watch. Meanwhile, I have to watch, Precious 2 and go to Lizzo concerts because there's nothing about white men. And so these guys thought this stuff gets a lot of retweets. We should just make Merlin's story but better.
Yeah.
And that's how you waste $1 trillion.
Well, I think like to that point in terms of like that mentality that you're describing, Felix, I did watch a clip of like a sort of press conference in which Jeremy Boring announced like this, like it was from 2022, and it was a press conference in where Jeremy Boring announced that the Pendragon cycle is coming. They announced an adaptation of Atlas Shrugged as a TV series, and he announced
wait.
Bent Key or whatever. And it was like the rollout was the idea that like in his conception, like Disney is producing movies for children with, in his words, racial and gender propaganda. And he said, when people see the racial and gender propaganda, 50% of the country will go, no thanks, and they'll come to the Daily Wire to get what they want from us, which is Snow White, but without racial and gender propaganda. I can already begin to see some of the problem with that thinking of just thinking automatically, we're going to pick up 50% of the market share for entertainment in America because Disney and HBO is so alienating to conservatives. But then I want to quote what he actually says about Bent Key, but you can apply this to Pendragon as well. He said, what we're going to be doing is not just propaganda for children or like we're not just going to teach children with entertainment. This is capital E entertainment. Pause. And then he says, for instance, Rob Schneider is a true entertainer.
You want to talk about a bard, man?
Yeah. Dude, speaking of the fucking Daily Wire intro for like they show all the properties that they've done. They show Tyler Fisher's face like 5 times in that intro. And I was just like,
That's
I
fine.
completely forgot about him till that. That's the guy that got kicked out of the fucking comedy mothership for hitting on too many women.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's like,
Did you guys see
me and Hassan did like we stumbled upon a Tyler Fischer Joe Rogan episode where he spends the entire show it's the type of things you would admit before you kill yourself. For instance, he said that his life was ruined because he had two dads, he had gay dads, and so according to him, for the first like 25 or 30 years of his life, he thought, well, I better try out being gay because everyone I know does it. He has there was a Tyler Fischer subreddit, which immediately we thought like the demand is not there. This is a product without a market.
not true.
And-
This guy.
Maybe now
I'm
it's
on it right
different.
now. Other monitor.
We went on it and it was very clear that it was like populated entirely by Tyler Fischer pretending to be Tyler Fischer fans. One of like
It's amazing how straight he is despite having those gay dads.
you know, even
No one
though he
mentions
only
his
realized,
height. No one mentions his height at all.
you know, even though he only realized that he liked pussy when he was 37, he's really good at it. He's only gotten good reviews.
Did any of you, like, as a kid, go to like a kid's house and they'd have a fucked up game console? It's like they don't have a PlayStation or anything. They have something called like a Froggle that their parents
Yeah.
bought for them. I feel like the Gen Alpha version of that is if you like go over to your friend's house to watch Bluey and they've only got bent key.
Yeah, no, yeah, and the remote's like a knockoff Atari joystick. It's like they sell a bit key box now.
It's
that
like,
has everything
I
on
want
it.
to watch. I want to watch Bluey. It's like, no, we have
Yeah.
to watch Rat Mysteries.
And it only has two. It only has two of the normal RCA cables. It like doesn't have the white one.
There's like a Pac-Man clone on it that doesn't work. It's only
Yeah,
got 2 levels. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that shit.
got-
Oh, when it's bent
All they
key,
got on there is
it's only the
mapping.
white cables. They
Through one white
yeah,
cable. directly
one white
into my
cable. That's
television.
it. Did you guys see the Daily Wire news today? The big news.
the Jonathan
What
Major.
happened?
Jonathan Major and
Jonathan
Zachary
Majors
Levi.
is going to be in the next Daily Wire movie, and I just looked it up, and it's written and directed by the guy who did Run, Hide, Fight.
Excellent.
Whoa.
I liked Run, Hide, Fight, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
I like magazine dreams. This is really depressing. If Trump is desperate, he should just make an executive decree un-me-tooing Jonathan Majors so he could be in regular movies again.
He was supposed to be Kang.
I feel like there's almost a.
Who's Kang?
Kang the
The-
Conqueror.
It's almost
know.
better for when the Daily Wire guys are on. They make better art when they're sort of on the back foot. Like when Joe Biden was in office, they made Run, Hide,
Yeah.
Fight,
Yeah.
and then now they're like, okay, well now we have nothing to say really, so we're gonna do Game of Thrones.
Did you see that the Jonathan Majors project was pitched as anti-woke sinners? And Jonathan Majors
Only
is
from the Irish guy's perspective.
I think his twin is a white guy in the movie, in the
They should
anti-woke
do,
sinners.
they should do a white version of Pixar's Soul. They should do that.
It's all about polka. It's all
Yeah.
polka artists from Poland.
I gotta say, now the Pendragon cycle was supposed to come out about a year or two ago, and it's been like pushed back. You know, obviously because they were getting it perfect before it was released, and you can see it on the screen. But speaking of Game of Thrones, I gotta say, it is of horrible luck for the Pendragon cycle that the time that they did choose to release the show is the exact time when A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is crushing it. They're like the show that everybody likes, like across the political spectrum. But I think that is like firmly locked down our like medieval setting TV show, and then like it's a genuinely good show, I think, and then like it is broadly like very popular and is like immediately made an impact in the like cultural conversation. Whereas this show, I was looking for reviews of this show, and the only reviews I could find were from like people who had blogs. Like it has not been reviewed by any like mainstream outlet. And the people who were reviewing it were like conservative fantasy fans who were like inclined to like it. And to their credit, the 2 reviews that I saw of it from like just a guy with a blog called like, Tanuki Spot or something like that, did not like this show. And like to their credit, the only positive review I have seen of this show comes courtesy of co-writer of Pulp Fiction and convicted manslaughter felon Roger Avery on Joe Rogan's podcast. On the episode where he tried to convince Joe that the Earth is indeed flat, or at least pretended to believe it so. And his comments were like, the Pendragon cycle is really impressive. You got to check it out, Joe. And I'm like, come on, man.
Do you feel like
Come
maybe
on, really? Like,
they missed out on a little bit of what people like Game of Thrones because you can see big dicks and boobs and shit all over the place.
Yeah.
And guys' heads are getting cut off and shit. And they had like, there's a moment where the girl is like in the lake and she's like
see a little
just
nip,
wet.
maybe.
She's like kind of wet t-shirt contest. And I was like, holy fuck, I can't believe they're showing this on this show.
Mm-hmm.
I was like scandalized personally.
Yeah, it really feels like a show that it's designed to make sure that you're allowed to watch it in the school library.
Yeah.
You're like, you have to, your whole family down to age 3 months has to be able to watch this show every evening.
There's that one scene where the fucking I just said hold on, I wrote his name down. Talesin is like, they're making out and he goes like, sorry, I'm going to wait until marriage.
but Patrick, they get married like 5 minutes later. They get married like that night.
That is another thing I wanted to ask you guys about. Both is we have a good grouping of experts here. We have in Caleb, someone who watched a lot of Christian entertainment growing up, and in Cameron, an expert on fantasy. How can Merlin and like Christianity coexist? It feels like one like kind of disproves the like.
I had this problem too.
You're not supposed to be like magic for Jesus Christ, but
I had my hackles kind of went up when they walked into that shit, and they were like, "Mary," and she was like, "No, I'm not Mary. I'm from Atlantis." I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of lines too where they're like,
That's not
actually,
right.
there are many gods, and it's just like very like, but not even in a way of like.
I can imagine my mother-in-law being like, you know how parents, whenever you watch like a movie with nudity or something, they always have like a disapproving sound that they make or some shit. I can imagine her being like, "Ugh," at those lines.
You know,
that's what my parents always did when I was watching something without male nudity. That happens in liberal households.
They were like, Felix, turn this trash off. Could you put Bad Lieutenant back on?
Yeah.
There's I feel like the allure of like a King Arthur thing is like, oh, this is like, you know, ostensibly this is like historical, but like in a mythical way where it's like, wow, it's cool to imagine that a long time ago there was magic and there was dragons and all this stuff. But this show really does present a King Arthur adjacent story where I'm like, oh, this all could have fully just happened because it's just guys walking around. There's
not a lot of magic.
This could be fully exactly what happened in, you know, the year 400 or whatever this was. There's no, except for, well, Atlantis exploding, which happened
even that,
very
it was
briefly.
like, you know.
Well, they didn't even have any like tentacles or anything in the show, so
That's why I was like, be blue.
Yeah. Why the hell are they not walking around on 8 legs?
And,
the craziest thing that happened is a baby with contacts.
Yeah, the baby with the contacts.
How come Atlantis, the fabled lost city of Atlantis, which in this show is depicted as an island city in the Mediterranean, how come they're all white with blonde hair and blue eyes?
Yeah.
That's a little weird.
Because it's the best city ever.
We should talk about Atlantis, because this is where we meet one of the main characters, Princess Charis, I believe. And we were like right after the sort of cold open, which is a bunch of like dirty guys finding a baby in a river and being like, holy shit, it's a baby. And then like 50 years later. Then like after the opening credits, we cut to the city of Atlantis in all its glory, which involved basically like a sporting event in which babes and twinks jump over a bull. And I would say like probably $250 million worth of the budget was dedicated to just this scene. Now, I will say in terms of historical veracity or accuracy, this is based on the Mycenaean culture of sort of ancient Greece adjacent. But yeah, they would do shit where they would just jump over bulls and like half of them would just get killed. And that was sports back then.
That's
and we
fun.
get a long scene of a kind of like pretty hot blonde woman jumping over a bull, and then like she gets gored and thinks she's gonna die.
And by
then,
the
like,
way, they do an amazing use of the Kuleshov effect, where they use the same frame of the bull. It's just a fucking animal just looking right down the barrel of the camera, and she's like, "Oh, he wants to eat me."
Yeah. also the frame, the one shot of the bull, and then it's going like, "I want everything," and they just shake the camera around.
It was awesome.
This is a scene. I recommend, if you're watching this show, I recommend watching this scene specifically at about 1.75 times speed because it looks pretty crazy.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It reminded me of the scene in Punisher Warzone where like the parkour villains jump from roof to roof and then one of them gets hit with a rocket by the Punisher. But they were like that, but instead of the Punisher, it's the bulls. It's bulls, just actual bulls.
Do you think that Bull will like not get invited back for the second season because he looked directly at the camera? You're really not supposed to do that as an extra.
Unfortunately, the bull did tweet "Free Palestine," so they've been sort of.
I didn't know whether this was a Daily Wire thing. Just a bull. I'm not that smart.
This scene really set the tone for the show for me too, where they kind of showed this crazy big, arena with all these crowds packed in. They're screaming. There's these people and like standing there, and the bull comes out and it's charging them. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be a crazy ass like gladiator scene. And it's like, nope, they're just doing backflips over the bull.
They're jumping, and we're zooming in on their feet. We're zooming in on the feet, not anything else, not anything interesting, just the feet jumping over the bull.
Like, can't even do the most home run, obvious, cool fantasy thing of like a cool Coliseum fight. It's like, no, we have to be doing acrobatics here.
But like it's indicative of many of like the big tentpole. Like I guess there are battle scenes in this. There are fights, but like exactly like the first one we see, the bull jumping scene. The question must be asked at every pivotal moment in this show, even the big action scenes. Once again, what am I looking at here? Who are these people? Because Cameron, the incredible thing that probably the most incredible thing I learned about the production of this show is that like this is a 7-novel series. There are 7 novels in this series.
Yes.
The first 8 episodes of this TV show adapts the first 5 books in this series.
What the fuck can these books be like, bro? That's crazy.
My guess is they're excising a lot of material, but like in any sequence, we're like, okay, we're introduced to the people of Atlantis and what will be like a main character of the show, the Princess Charis, aka the mother of Merlin, the wizard that we all know and love. But it's just like we know nothing of their culture. We know nothing of like there is no context, no stakes, or no character developed or presented at any point in this show. So then like you see a battle. There are 2 groups of people fighting each other. It's like a Roman legion and like the Pictish people of northern Scotland. They're having a scrap. And then like something indeterminate happens. The battle's over. We don't know who won or lost, but we also don't know who was fighting and why or anything about it at all.
Yeah. That actually makes so much sense because this is a show made by a guy who clearly loves this book series and he assumes that everybody else in the world knows what happens in the books.
Mm-hmm. He basically took all the coolest stuff that he wanted. He was like that would be cool in a
He assumes
TV show.
everyone is going to be like, oh, Talesin. Yes, he does this and he does that. I know all about Talesin.
This would be the equivalent if like, sorry to go back to Game of Thrones here, but this would be like if HBO, if they put the Red Wedding in episode 4 of season 1 of Game of Thrones. It would be kind of like the pace at which this show is happening. But also like decades are passing in between scenes of this show. But crucially, like what we actually do get to see is, as you said, Cameron, just people kind of like walking over a hill. It's just kind of looking at each other.
Okay, so you guys like being dropped in with no explanation when it's Valhalla Rising, but not when it's something starring Brett Cooper. Okay.
Wait, so in the books, when is Merlin fucking born in the books then?
Yeah, that's got to be like 6 books.
No,
in.
that actually makes so much sense. That seems like that would be like I think that honestly 2 episodes is just the worst possible length of time to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would be cool as fuck.
Yeah.
If it was like the last episode, you'd be like, oh damn. Or if it was like halfway through, you'd be like, oh sick. But 2 episodes is literally like perfectly the worst time to do
Talk
that.
about nominative determinism, man. The guy's name is Merlin, and he becomes a wizard. What are the odds of that?
Well, there's also the scene when they see the hawk and they're like, it's a hawk. And then he goes, it's a Merlin. And I
Yeah.
guess maybe a Merlin is a word for a hawk or something. I don't know.
Yeah, does that mean baby hawk?
Do you think that like they did it that way because they were, again, these are all like would have been screenwriters and producers? Oh, everyone thought it was such an amazing move when they killed Ned Stark in season 1 of Game of Thrones. What if we do all this shit like in the first 2 episodes? What if we beat them by 5 episodes?
Yeah.
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 I was shocked because I was really hoping Talesin would be the main character of this show. Talesin, also known as the greatest bard ever to exist. I wasn't aware that
there's only been like 20 bards.
Existed was Merlin's father. But there's an amazing scene at the end of the first episode, I believe, of the show, or maybe it's the second episode. It's Talesin and Princess Charis have absconded together. They've met, fallen in love, and gotten married within, and also converted to Christianity within the space of about, 15 minutes of actual screen time. They light out from the new capital of Atlantis, which I believe is supposed to be Wales. She's left her family, become a Christian, and lighted out to just explore 4th century Britannia with her husband Talesin, the greatest bard of all time. And they come across like they unlock a new area of the map, new fast travel point. They go to like a new human settlement, and they come in there and they're like, "Hey, everybody, it's me, the bard. I've come to pay respects to you and the king." And the king is like, "That sounds great. We're going to torture you to death and then rape your wife in front of you. Is that cool?" And then he's like, "Yeah, but let me just sing you a song." And then like Lord of the Rings style, like, "Io wanna wear." And then the guy just starts crying and is like, "You were my master now."
Yeah.
That's what the bard thing is so insane to me because truly how like that is so opposed to the mindset of like a company that put out Run, Hide, Fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is not what these guys think is cool. There's no way it is.
Well, okay, think about it like this though. It's like if they didn't do Bard, they would have been like his dad was the greatest rogue of all time or the greatest paladin of all time.
Yeah.
They would have just picked some other fucking stock fantasy class.
Also, I just wanted to point out they couldn't get a guy to actually sing. Like they got like the auto tune that you hear.
It's sick. It was really good at 2 times speed.
Yeah. Oh,
It did the Nightcore version.
I didn't know. I didn't know if that was because I was watching it in 2 times speed or if it was like that auto tuned. And it is like
it is funny though
insane,
to imagine
the melodyne in his voice.
Yeah, them having to get another guy to sing because they're like, well, we can't cast a guy who can actually sing because this guy we got to play Taliesin is just so fucking good. Like he's such a good actor. He can't sing. That's okay. Yeah, we'll get someone who will auto tune it.
We'll get someone else to sing, but then also that guy can't sing that good, and we have to pitch correct his voice. We're not finding a great fucking singer.
That was like advanced Atlantean technology. They had auto-tune.
Yeah,
like
they had auto-tune back then, and spaceships.
I just wanted to mention like the look of some of the characters. I did not bother to learn the names of the monks, but when I was not distracted by the incredibly conspicuous contacts, which makes it look like everyone has cirrhosis, or at least all the Atlanteans, I noticed that like they don't really try that hard to make people look of the period. Like this is fantasy, but it's you know it's supposed to be in this like immediately post-Roman British Isles. The monks specifically are the most insane looking. They look like every time there's an SVU episode about like influencers who rape someone, they look like the influencers.
They look like Eagles fans when they interview them after a game. That's what those guys look like. And then the Merlin's mom, I was like, I thought it was Shosh from Girls for the first like 5 minutes. Like, damn, she's not doing well.
While we're bringing up other HBO shows, is this not like a show that Johnny Drama would be on?
Absolutely. This is the one he goes to cons to like make money signing autographs for when he played Aurelius or his brother Uthar. the High King of Britain.
Dude, it's the Baby Billy show that he makes in the news.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna say this is fucking teengus. This is teengus.
It really is. It really is. It's Teengus, but like the first 2 episodes are about Teenjus's like cousins. Or something like that. Or like it's about Mary and Joseph when they were teenagers or something like that.
Yeah. We can't
but
do
like
this,
that-
Teengus. We can't have premarital sex.
That makes me think. Do you think the point of the Bard stuff was to draw and to make an allusion to David for the real Bible heads out there?
I
Like
doubt
Merlin
it.
is Solomon and Merlin's dad is David. I don't know. These guys love the Bible.
It could be. That's very astute of you.
I love his song, like his song skills when he's like roll for song, and there are like 2 scenes where like he impresses people. They're like, who's this jagoff talking about? There's only one God. Let's fucking kill this guy. And then he's like, hold on a second, let me just get my harp. And then he just goes into like some Enya shit, like who can stay where the rain goes? And then like everyone's like, you are our God now.
They also dressed him up.
They were gonna skin him alive.
Yeah.
It makes me think that
Yeah, then he sings too fucking good.
it makes
They
me
also
think
dressed
that,
him up like
Krabby
Homelander.
McCoy. Yeah.
Like he's wearing the same like costume as Homelander the whole time.
Well, lest we get too attached to Talesin, I could not believe the twist at the end of episode 2, where right after his
my
wife
God.
gives birth to Merlin, who's dead, and then he takes him outside and does another Enya song, and the rain stops like mid-air, and the monks are like, my God, and the baby comes back to life, and then he gets hit with an arrow and dies. And it's actually Princess Charis's sister, Morgan Le Fay, who kills him with a crossbow. That scene would have fucking hit like a Mack truck had I known or who Taliesin was or cared about anything he did.
Yeah.
Like, if we had spent, like I said, if they had ended season 1 there, you'd be like, oh shit, wow, like what a fucking end to a show. But like this comes in episode 2, and you're like, okay, I guess that guy's not a character anymore.
Yeah.
What was his name
It's so
again?
funny too in that scene when they do, because that did make me remember. He gets shot and he's stopping the rain and they throw it to the 2 like monk priest guys for a reaction shot, and it completely using them for a reaction shot takes the wind out of it so hard because they just look so fucking
You guys in bowl cuts. Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy.
Assholes.
Yeah.
You'd have to imagine that they would react with the same level of awe if he did like the like my thumb is coming off magic trick.
Going by the power scaling of the show, Travie McCoy is like Goku.
Yeah.
Music is so powerful. You could bring your son back to life. Your stillborn fucking son.
Dude, it's so it's so obvious at the end of every episode. You can tell that Jeremy Boring knows that like this is the first and final season.
Yeah,
like he's packing
They
in.
cram
He's
it
packing
in,
in. Yeah, he's packing in every single book. Because I'm on the Pendragon Cycle Wikipedia, and episode 2, or sorry, the book 2 is about Merlin. Like they were like, all right, the first book is Taliesin, the second book is Merlin, so we have to do that. We have to do that like immediately.
How is it obviously I watched this illegally, but for people who buy it, does this cost like $600 to rent this 8 episode things? That's the only way they can make money.
It's
right?
merely $100 a year subscription to the Daily Wire.
Oh,
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's good,
That's
could be
not, I mean,
worse.
especially you get so many shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where else am I going to watch the G.I. Joe show from 1989 with
Yeah.
the Roadblock episodes cut out because it's
I'm just
woke?
watching kids shows because I'm so mad about Disney Plus. Watching one show for adults and then I'm watching Chipzilla. Like, yeah, this will fucking show them.
I'm on the wiki page too now for the Pendragon Cycle book series, and it's really kind of says a lot about what kind of book series this is. That each book has a heading on the page, and the plot is about 2 sentences long for each of them. And then the rest of the page, which is about like, 3 more screens of text, is tables of the characters in the book and their historical bases. With no information at all, just name, and there's like 100 of them.
Dude, who's Taliesin's?
Taliesin Wow, they didn't even list Talesin.
Yeah, I guess he's his
that's
own
rough.
man.
Please look up the other books that Stephen R. Lawhead wrote, because the Pendragon Cycle might not even be the best title out of all of the ones he
Okay.
wrote.
Stephen,
The
the
even
Dragon
our
King
Lawhead-
trilogy, I see.
the Empyrean Saga.
Wow. Brown Ears, The Adventures of a Lost and Found Rabbit. Why are they not adapting that one?
King Raven trilogy. Oh, Patrick, son of Ireland.
Whoa.
He really
Brett Cooper or whoever, Jeremy Boring, I'm down. I'm down to let's adapt that one. I'm ready. I'm willing. I'm an actor now.
Well, we brought her up, but I do want to talk about Brett Cooper for a second, because in the opening credits of the show, I'm like, always keeping a eagle eye, or Merlin eye, if you will, out for actors that I might read, whose names might pop, whose names I recognize. The only person in this cast who I recognized was Brett Cooper. the now recently departed Daily Wire streamer who had a falling out with them. She is in episode 3 and 4 of this show, but she has no lines, and I think she's a ghost. And
Yeah, what's with that?
Merlin has several visions of Brett Cooper where she's just sort of staring at him longingly, and it's implied that maybe she was his wife, but she's a ghost now. I think because it makes me suspicious that she had some falling out with Jeremy Boring. She left the show. She left the Daily Wire. She's now has a much bigger YouTube presence. I think she was a main character on this show, and then he was so pissed off that she quit and embarrassed him in the company that he re-edited the entire show so that she's just a ghost.
It's like Adrian
that's
Brody in that fucking Terrence Malick movie.
Oh yeah, like in Thin Red Line. Yeah.
that's a good theory. That's a good theory, but clearly you haven't read the Pendragon Cycles. Merlin is so smart that's actually a diegetic Brett Cooper, and he's imagining what YouTube will be.
He's so his magic is so powerful that he's getting visions of the year 2025, and a woman who looks identical to Ben Shapiro despite not being related to him is talking about ranting about affirmative action in a pink streaming studio, and he's Taliesin, father, this is what we fought for. This is what we fought the Irish and the Saxons for.
Yeah,
dude, she looks like a Pixar character. Every time that she popped up, I was like, is this CGI?
She has, all that surgery that they make every K-pop woman get, it is based on Brett Cooper. She got some big ol' eyes.
I will say, as far as the Christian content of this show, I think they keep it with a light touch. And there's another quote here from Jeremy Boring that I wanted to share here that I thought was great. It says here, Boring, who co-founded the Daily Wire but parted with the company last year, has described the series as probably the most Christian piece of mainstream entertainment since Braveheart. But it is not a piece of Christian entertainment. Okay, well then which is it?
Oh yeah.
And
it's just not a piece of entertainment. That's really what he means. It's Christian.
And you can see the Braveheart influences. A lot of the guys in this show, they're just kind of standing around, milling about. They have
just
kind of
waiting to die.
The white guy dreadlocks that fucking Brendan Gleeson had in Braveheart, and you can see I love the idea of Braveheart as a Christian movie, and they're in the same interview he says, you'll notice I didn't say Passion of the Christ, which is a great Christian film, and it's Mel Gibson's passion play, but Braveheart to me is the greatest piece of Christian entertainment. And I like that because,
that's so interesting.
rather than the literal story of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, that was one of the most highest grossing movies of all time, as far as an explicitly religious movie that was a huge success and is literally just the New Testament. He's that was all right, but Jesus still doesn't kill anyone. So Braveheart, Braveheart, he fucks some people up in that movie. And I gotta say, I like Braveheart, but he took the wrong lessons from it, which is he thought to make Braveheart you need bagpipe music, big soaring shots of mountains, dirty looking white guys, and that's it. And once again, I got to come back to Mel. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to make a movie. And I simply, if I'm going to put on my religious kind of ethnic detective hat on here, it's because he's Catholic. And Jeremy Boring is from Texas and probably some kind of evangelical. So as a result, is genetically incapable of producing a story that's worth listening to or entertaining in any way.
Yeah, I still don't quite grasp what is so Christian about this show, even in the first place, because the Merlin thing doesn't make a lot of sense. And then the other thing is the Atlantis shit, where like this girl, if she finds out about Jesus, she's like, okay, my dad's 500. I live in Atlanta. Like, who gives a fuck?
I feel like this is a situation where the show probably will feel really, really Christian by like episode 6. Like they aren't even good at it. Like they really think they need 5 episodes of exposition before people.
What
are
if he
even
shows
ready
up, dude? What if Christ shows up?
It's because they want people to get so hooked on the first couple of episodes and be like, well, this is amazing. I'm an atheist, so I believe in Merlin. And then and then at the end, they're like, guess what? Christian.
I mean, I keep coming back to this. I can't imagine anything. I mean, I think about how like I will watch a new TV show and I'll be like, well, I'll try an episode. I'll watch the first episode. I'll be like, I was okay. I don't know. I'll try one more. I'll give it a shot. We'll see if it doesn't grab me. So be it. And thinking about getting to that that episode 2 point and at the very end seeing 75 years later, like that is the most clear thing that most clear sign you could ever get to like turn this show off now.
Yeah.
Like,
It literally
so
doesn't
insane.
matter. It doesn't matter.
None of what you watched matters. The show might as well not exist.
Like, because I like Cameron. I spent the first 2 episodes of the show once again just being like, okay, there's Talesin. He grows up, and you know that because like once you figured out that he's the baby from the river at the beginning of the movie because his dad has a mustache now, they're being pushed around they're allied with the Roman legions who are still in the UK, but they're being pushed around by the Picts. There's a battle that we don't know the outcome of because it just like goes to Atlantis or something like that. And then like at the beginning, then they hook up with the Atlantis people who are now living in Wales. And they're like, we are refugees in your country. And they're like, welcome strangers, enjoy our hearth and home. And then at the very beginning of episode 2, like Taliesin's dad is like, we won't be your slaves. Fuck you. We're leaving. And I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened? Like,
it's literally one of the most interesting things that could have happened is that conversation and like the dramatic, like I'm picturing it like the dramatic, like the musical Sting where it's like, oh, like, you know, like slavery, and then they're like, you know what? Fuck all that.
Thoughts all the time.
Fuck all that dumbass shit. Let's go straight into it. Let's go right in so that we can get to book 2,
I also
which is what the show was about.
I mean, do people? I guess so many of my confusions here are just like, do people even care about this stuff? But do people like give a fuck about Merlin anymore? Like, is that like a big enough hook that you're like, I'm gonna keep watching this? Merlin's in it now.
You know, Cameron's
in it, but he's not doing any magic.
After watching the show, I think we conclude the GOAT debate is over. It's Gandalf. Merlin washed. Absolutely. Yeah. He has been on Fraud Watch. Now he is conclusively exposed as a fraud in this TV show. You guys remember in episode 4 where there's a battle that takes place between once again, if I had a gun to my head now in my life.
4, I'll be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave up midway through episode 4.
Okay. Well, then you missed the incredible scene where Merlin takes people into battle of like one group of dingy looking white people against another. They're not even fighting the Saxons yet. The Saxons are the big threat, but they're like, oh, we have to fight these other guys because they're stealing our cattle. And there's a big fight and confrontation. And it's like the closest thing this show has to a battle scene. Merlin is on his horse watching the whole thing the entire time. Does nothing.
Ideas guy.
Yeah, he's a coach. Yeah, I never heard of a coach. Oh, yeah, Greg Popovich is sitting on the sidelines doing fucking nothing.
Like we've all seen like you know a medieval battle, right? Where it's like in Braveheart, for instance, like the scene where Longshanks and his cavalry, they're like over on the other hill watching all the people like get gutted and shredded with arrows and fucking disemboweled and whatever. They're well away from the fray. In this scene, Merlin is on horseback and he's like just right there in the battle, but nobody like the guys are just dying in front of him and he's just standing there looking. And then he yells the name. He yells the name of the king that they're trying to overthrow, and then they're like the battle stops, and he just walks into the castle or fortress or whatever, and he's like, I'm trying to remember. You know what? It doesn't matter. It literally, it literally doesn't matter.
My other problem with the show is at this point, why, like, you know, they're going to war with the Saxons and the Irish and whatever. At this point, you're already doing Atlantis. Just make those guys Mexican. What are we fucking doing here?
That's my main complaint. It's just not right wing enough. It just truly they needed to get like S. Craig Zoller on board for this and just like do some fucking
so
crazy ass shit and just like they just it's so tame. Like just it's I might as well be watching Roku City scroll by on my TV. That is what I'm getting out of
They should add this to Wallpaper Engine.
They should.
Talesin or whoever, they're literally doing the thing that these guys say bad immigrants do. They're like, we're refugees, and then after 10 years of having a mustache, he's like, fuck you, you're racist. I'm going to use DEI to run for fiefdom council. Like, isn't that bad? Shouldn't he be the bad guy then?
They're taking all these Saxons are coming in and taking away our job as thralls.
also they allied, the Atlanteans are refugees who allied with the World Economic Forum of its day, the Roman Empire, against native born Picts. And the Picts are the bad guys just because they love their country. I would have told a totally different story.
And you know what? The show literally shows how Hadrian's Wall doesn't work.
This is a libbed up show.
It is.
I will say, I think that, like, okay, having magic that is a no-no in the New Testament, magic is bad and just isn't, it's barely a thing. But in the only real Testament,
the Book of Mormon.
The Book
Part
of Mormon.
3.
Well, in Exodus, really everything in the Old Testament it's practical monotheism. There are other gods, but they suck compared to the God. And in Exodus specifically, they mentioned the Pharaoh has magicians, but like Moses just owns them.
Yeah.
Moses is not even an angel, and he's owning the shit out of these magicians. And looking at Merlin's really shitty magic, I think he's like at the power level where God and Christ are like, okay, it's like gun laws in California. You can't have a wand that's this big. You can't do the kind of magic where you shoot rays everywhere, but you can like yell, and you can do stuff with birds.
You can only
wiggle
cast
a pencil.
You can only cast spells of protection. You can't like shoot energy bolts or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also just cannot give a fuck about any Merlin that's not wearing a crazy ass wizard outfit with a pointy hat and all that shit.
With a ball going like this on a t-shirt.
No
Except
fucking
that
pointy hat.
Only one where that's okay is the Merlin in Excalibur, and that's just because that's like the best movie ever. But he still should have been in a fucking wizard costume in that.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron, I was thinking of you watching
blue
this because I know you're a fan of John Borman's Excalibur, which is the actual Arthurian legend done in like, you know, great kind of gonzo mythic style. And like the only review I can offer of the Pendragon cycle is just watch John Borman's Excalibur or really any other film or TV adaptation of Arthurian legend.
I've seen so many
Do anything. Go on a
terrible fucking fantasy movies that suck so bad and were made for $10 by Italian guys in the 70s, and all of them clear this by
Dude,
like
legit. I was watching this and I was like, they have a better like Merlin lore in old school RuneScape. Like way better.
I mean, it really just it falls short on every metric. You could compare it to anything. No good.
Yeah.
What? It just goes right through you. I don't know if you've ever had one of those protein drinks where they're like, oh, there's 78 grams of protein. There's 800 grams of protein in this fucking moron bar.
Yeah, in this cookie.
Yeah, I would like eat and drink that crap when I was like 23, just because I really believed that you needed like 2 grams of protein per body weight, and you just piss it out. You cannot process like 95 grams of protein in like one sitting. I had the same feeling here, where it was just laborious to get through, and I retained like none of it.
Yeah.
You know, Felix,
it took up no storage in my mind.
Felix, you remember when we watched the Adam Carolla Mr. Birchum series with Ben Clarkson? And I told you I was watching it at my mom's house in Massachusetts, and I remember telling you like it made me like so irritated at how unfunny it was that I had to like leave the house, get in the car, and drive to a field to look at horses, a la Michael Clayton. This show, I started watching episode 1 of this show today at around 11 a.m. It took me until about 6 o'clock to finish all 4 of these episodes because I could only watch it in like 5-minute increments because it was so boring.
It's a television show that needs commercials. It's so fucking bad.
I got through 3 of the episodes, and I was like, today, and I had one left, and I was like, oh, I have something at 5:30. Oh, it's about 4 right now. I have nothing going on for the next time. I'll just sit and look at my phone for about an hour, I think.
I retained much more of Mr. Birchum. I felt more invested in the plot and the characters. I even feel like Mr. Birchum makes a better argument for Christianity. It's better Christian apologetics, and I don't even think that Mr. Birchum he even mentions his denomination. This is we've watched a lot of bad right wing and just regular apolitical mainstream stuff. I think out of everything we have watched, this is the most just ephemeral. This stood with me and will stick with me the least out of anything. I think a week from now, I will not even remember a single frame of this thing.
Yeah.
I would not call The Reliant, for instance, sub replacement level, because there's so many incompetent choices with the story and the direction. There's a hilarious trademark of sort of middle period Christian movies where they just have a girl who's probably famous on Christian YouTube. They just have her sing a song for 7 minutes. And it's really funny and incompetent. And here it just, this is sub replacement level. And I got really sad thinking about all the money and the ways that this money was made. That there are bodies buried underneath oil fields in Kazakhstan and other places. People who tried to organize their workplace in the developing world and were just plugged in the head, and their families have no idea where they went. The people that did these things, that made these billions of dollars doing these horrible things, destroying economies, ruining lives, obliterating ecosystems. So many people died for that money to wind up in the hands of some mega wealthy 1% of 1% of 1% of global wealth industrialist who then gave it to Jeremy Boring to make this.
Felix, actually,
it's very sad.
Felix, there's a relevant to that. There is a quote from the Deadline interview with Jeremy Boring about this, where he says, they go, let's go to the Pendragon cycle, which you co-directed and produced. It's an ambitious Arthurian legend set in Roman-occupied Britain where barbarian invaders threaten to lay claim to the island. What kind of budget are we talking? This is where he says 8 figures, 7 figures per episode. It was easily the most ambitious thing we ever made. Deadline, where did you source the money? All internal or external sources too? Boring says, I can't say too much on that, but Daily Wire generates more than $200 million a year in revenue. We have a lot of resources to deploy in service of our values.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. So the Daily Wire has $200 million a year in revenue. Did they spend it all on the Pendragon cycle?
That is how you know your production is being funded in evil books.
Yeah.
Some of the worst things that have ever been done were in part committed in service of the Pendragon cycle. Indirectly, but still. Think about, if there is an afterlife, think about you're haunting the people that killed you, the board of directors of this company, and you realize that a significant part of the profits that your death facilitated went into this. I would be like one of those ghosts in the movie Ghost and learn how to manipulate physical objects. I would be so.
I think my final observation on the Pendragon cycle, I was just like cycling through. I was Pendragoning through my cycling through my notes here of all 4 episodes of this show, and I think like listener, like you will never see this show unless you're already a subscriber to Bent Key or the Daily Wire. And if that's the case, please by all means check out the show. But like, let me just give you. I think this will sum up what the experience of watching this show was like. This is just I'm reading verbatim from my notes. Who is attacking them? There's a battle, but I have no idea who any of these people are or what they're fighting over, so it's incredibly dull. And then they die. They were a character for like 5 minutes, so why should I care? Okay, now Merlin's with the guys who won the battle, whoever they are. The swords on this show look extremely bad. Flashback, Merlin meets Roman Commander, a.k.a. the guy from Lady Ballers. Shares a dream or vision he had of a sword that the other guy has. Fuck me, I hate this show. A character calls this a remarkable story. No, it wasn't.
You couldn't even call it a story.
Yeah.
It was a series of sequences and flashbacks and title cards. It would be very generous to say that a narrative was created here.
I wrote down when I took some notes on this because like I literally could not follow anything, and it was there's just one line in the first episode that is just so indicative of just the writing in the whole show, which was it's like Talesin talking to some fucking old man that I don't even know what his whole point was. And he's talking to him and he's like, oh, it isn't wise to sneak up on a man while he prays. And then the old man says, it isn't wise to pray while a man sneaks up on you. And it's like, I know that fucking Jeremy Boring was sitting there like, God fucking damn it, dude. I fucking destroyed that shit. That's right. Emmys, here we come.
He was like, finally, I've made something as good as I drink and I know things.
Yeah. I'm picturing right now the t-shirts.
Yeah,
exactly. The t-shirts.
Yeah.
The text is like too big.
It's the world's first line break t-shirt.
It isn't wise to sneak up on a man while he prays. Back of the shirt. It isn't wise to sneak up. It isn't wise to pray while a man sneaks up on you.
You wearing that shirt out and you're just constantly spinning around so people can see all of it.
Well, dear listener, that was another thing that we have endured on your behalf. The Pendragon cycle, Rise of Merlin. There's only 4 episodes left in the existence of this show, so make the most of it because it's never coming back. It's never coming back.
Yeah,
but I will say, just like in closing here, I think one of the like I said, the show itself is mind-numbingly boring, but the story about the production of this show, like I said, is kind of like a Safdie Brothers movie, and the whole story of the Daily Wire and its incredible implosion, what with Candace, hiring Candace Owens to be racist and then getting surprised when she's anti-Semitic and then firing her over that and then having her YouTube be like 10 times as big as the Daily Wire. But then like the revelation that Jeremy Boring himself is like Barry Gordy or like Hash from The Sopranos in the way he treats conservative pundits, and that like he locks them in these incredibly exploitative contracts for like
they get like the SNL contract.
Yeah,
it's great.
Where he's just like stealing from Steven Crowder, and it's like I kind of like have to respect it because these are the most exploitable people, but like they're waking up. They're waking up and they're leaving the plantation of the Daily Wire and their cruel overseers, Jeremy Boring and Ben Shapiro.
It's old money, cash money.
He's like baby. He makes Steven Crowder kiss him on the lips.
Yeah, wear that dress you wear.
No, he doesn't. That was the one thing they didn't have to force Steven Crowder to do. It's like on day one, he signed his soul over to the Daily Wire, and they're like, I can't wait to put him in a dress. Steven Crowder just walks into the meeting dressed like a fucking German milkmaid. What's up, guys? What's up, gang? We ready to do this shit?
It's all these fucking libs. Let's get them.
Yo, let's do a prank where I suck off my friends and call them gay.
Oh man, you should send me to this foam party to find out how woke they are. I was thinking about how this money could have been better spent. Will, if they gave half of this budget to the guy that did Assassin's 33 AD,
Yes. Oh my God.
We'd be like, this show fucking rock. He would have done something amazing with it. I don't know what, but it would have been fucking awesome.
What is that? Assassin's what?
Okay, like
Assassin's 33 AD, our
Yeah.
favorite Christian movie.
like in the course of the show of like the sort of right wing or Christian movies we've done on the show, they are all universally terrible, save for one movie that we did called Assassin 33 AD, about how Muslims invent time travel and send someone back in time to kill Jesus Christ.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like
That's so
but I want to
Caleb,
like,
Caleb,
like the
you
movie is like it's like a
specifically
Philip K.
have
Dick.
I'm gonna watch that.
It
It's
rocks.
so good.
It's
I don't even
crazy.
want to spoil anything.
Yeah, I don't want to.
We usually talk about like what a kind of flat out brilliant, best in a genre movie this is, and how it's like surprisingly like well made for one of these.
It's actually a pretty good science fiction movie.
It's a really good science fiction movie. I think Philip K. Dick is the perfect comp, and like it's like weirdly like woke in some ways because the villain. So this is the only thing I'll reveal, and it's not really a spoiler, but like the villain he purports to be an Arab Christian, but really he's making this time machine for nefarious Islamist purposes. And when they, when the plot kicks into motion, they're like, "Hey, didn't ISIS like kill this guy's Christian parents? Why is he a Muslim?" And they're like, "He has Stockholm syndrome from Islamists." But most Muslims actually wouldn't do this with a time machine. But I think you are gonna love what you see.
I'm gonna watch that. I have one question, which is, if you're gonna kill Jesus, why would you go to the year that he dies? That's a very, very strange choice.
Well, he's up on the cross, dude. It's easier.
Yeah, you get him right before he dies of bleeding out.
The way to do it will be go to 33 AD and save his life, and that way
Yes.
Christianity doesn't.
Exactly.
If he
That
fucking
makes
died-
way more
If
sense.
he died of old age and then came back 3 days later,
Yeah.
no one would fucking notice.
Exactly.
That's what I love about this movie, though, is that this guy is such an Islamist that he's like, no, I accept that Christ was killed and resurrected. We just have to like prevent that.
hmm
Because even if that's true, Christianity sucks compared to what we got. They do. some
I'll watch
amazing
that.
shit.
I
Like,
will be watching.
I don't know what he would have done with this story, but something amazing. Like the Atlanteans would be going on medieval buses and playing music on Bluetooth speakers. He wouldn't do that. It's way too creative.
That would have been the version of the movie where the Atlanteans are actually time traveling Latinos from the future who have come back to illegally immigrate into fourth century into the 4th century.
It's a Latino invents a time machine so he can make
Ball jumping, they love animal blood sports. They fucking invented it.
It's about a Latino business titan who's making the time machine to make it so La Raza is a globe-spanning empire.
The Latino caliphate. He's expanding the global Latino belt from pole to pole.
Oh my
man.
god, he would make Latino Halo.
That would be so sick. If they did one of these giant Lord of the Rings battles and you see the guy's flag and then it's a Dodgers flag. They're like, yep.
Let's leave it there for today. That was the Pendragon cycle, Rise of Merlin. Run, don't walk to this one. That'll do it for today's episode. I would like to thank Caleb, Cameron, and Patrick. Together they are Pod About List. Please like and subscribe. Links available in the show description. But boys, thank you for enduring that with us, and thank you for sharing the experience of watching the Pendragon cycle on 2 times speed.
Oh,
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you for the
Thank you so
opportunity
much.
to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could think of no one better to watch the stasis of Merlin with us.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys sent the link over because I forgot my Daily Wire password, so this makes
Oh yeah.
makes the whole thing easier for me.